Hello learners. Today we will be covering and discussing about interpersonal and group processes under Block 3, Unit 8, Group Dynamics and Team Building, and Unit 9, Conflict and Negotiation Strategies under MMPC-011, Social Process and Behavioral Issues. Think about an event, any process, any project. We think about a group of people, and that group of people consists of the team or a group. Let's talk about the group. A group is made up of persons, more than two, which is diet, who communicate regularly, share their goals, and interact with each other over time to build up the effective bonds among them. Two or more people, when interacting relationships and independently to achieve a common goal, is called a group. Group can also be defined as two or more people with common interest, objectives, and continuing interaction. Where we need a group is formed of minimum of two people or more than two people is known as group. A group is two or more individuals interacting in which the existence of group as a group is necessary for the needs of individual group members to be satisfied. It means that the group is made up of two or more people or the employees in an organization or maybe sometimes on a personal level which interact within them and where they take the responsibilities on their own on the needs of their own existence as well as need to satisfy the other members of the group. Group can be formal or informal. When we talk about the formal group consists of generally seen in the organizational setup where they have a common objective or they are formed for specific task or project or for specific event. Whereas informal groups are on a personal level, sometimes it create, of course, the objective or the task is there, but it create without any foundation, without any rules. We found sometimes informal groups within the formal groups that depends on the interaction between the two or more people within the same group. There are certain stages when we talk about the group development or group formation. First stage is forming, second is storming, third is norming, fourth is performing, and fifth is adjourning. Forming, as the term defines, it is a preliminary stage when the people come together for some specific task or an objective or some specific project. Different people from different background, different qualifications, specifications, attitude, personality come together and they combine one specific group. Second stage is storming. Storming, as the word defines itself, the people who wanted to join a group, maybe for example 20 people applied to be in a group of specific project tasks, and out of that the leader decide on scrutiny of the people to be in the group based on their qualification or personality, attitude, certification. This is an organizational context, but in personal context also we see the storming as a second stage after the people join, and then they really see whether they are fitted into the group or not, and they may move out of the group or they wanted to stay in the group. Stage third is all about the norms, that we call it norming. Norming stage, all the rules and regulations are defined. It is communicated to all the group members. The leaders plays a very important role in this stage because the leader has to lead on the rules and regulations that has to be transparently and openly communicated and properly communicated to all the team group members. Stage 4 is in performing, which itself is defined as an action oriented, where all the group members are bound to activate on the rules and regulation or the task given to them as per the job responsibility or specifications or as a task assigned to them. And stage 5 is adjourning. Adjourning refers to when the task is completed, when the project is completed or any event is completed, they move again to form the another task or to form the another group for the specific other task, or maybe they look on for the further task or the objectives. There are certain determinants when we talk about the group productivity. First, group size. It determines group productivity with both advantages and disadvantages. It is very important to define the group size. It depends on the nature of work, span of control, or the supervision capacity of the leader, and the factors like delegation, ability, organizational change, and personal contact. Larger groups they have more resources, and it's very sometimes very harder to coordinate. Smaller groups is easily manageable, but they have limited resources. So we have to be really focused, or a leader has to be focused on optimal size, which balances the resource availability and the coordination efficiency. Second is group composition. Group composition refers to the similarities or differences among members based on age, gender, sex, race, traits, and the background. Background can be the culture or the regional backgrounds. Tasks completely influence ideal composition. There are simple tasks, there can be a complex task. So, simple task generally comes together with a homogeneous group who work better in the similar manner, whereas in the complex task, heterogeneous group bring diverse idea. We can find diverse people from different backgrounds and different regions, or sometimes with different cultural backgrounds as well in the complex task. Certain traits, stability, responsibility, and self-reliance enhances the group overall performance. The third one is Philo B theory, which focuses on improvement when members have compatible needs. That refers to the inclusion, control, and affection. Inclusion needs when a group needs for interact each other in a proper manner. Control needs to influence others, and affection needs to closeness. These three are very important to form the entire group and for the further productivity. If we talk about the affection, unless and until the group is not cohesive, it's not involvement of the members are not there, one cannot lead to the productive group productivity. Control is very important, and it's very important for the leaders or the supervisors to control in a specific and specified manner. Inclusion is very, very important, where the interaction is very important among the group members. There should not be any gap in terms of any communication or any responsibilities given to them. Group norms. These are the standards of behavior among the group members. It develops gradually. Sometimes the norms are predefined, but some norms, when they interact with them and when they start working together, it affects the performance, teamwork, communication, and overall leadership. In 1995, Goodham's four norms are specified as fairness, reciprocity, reasonableness, and role expectation. Fairness refers to equal contribution. When a group is formed, it is a responsibility of the leader or the supervisor to assign the responsibility in an equitable manner. Reciprocity refers to helping behavior should be mutual. It should not be that sometimes it's seen that one of the member of the group is very takes the initiative on helping others, but when it is not responded back, sometimes it creates a gap between the group members. Reasonableness refers to rational and fair interactions among the group members, and role expectations is clearly about the clarity of the role definition and the task given to them. To regulate the behavior, enhancing functioning, and all this is required to reflect the group values. It's hard to modify. Sometimes when the norms are set and it is defined, sometimes it is hard to modify the norms. Violations may lead to punishments or rewards. The other determinant, which is most important, is group cohesiveness. It defines as members' attraction to the group and one another. It strengthens the overall teamwork and group efficiency. The influencing factors of group cohesiveness is member similarity. Sometimes it's seen that members from the same background or same region or same maybe the past companies or maybe about the region, they wanted to work together since they worked on previous tasks as well. Then is trust and openness. Trust and openness is very important to create, to be in a group, cohesiveness. Past successes and failures also impacted, the group cohesiveness and incentives of being in a group. Incentives can be only the monetary, but there are other incentives like recognition, a pat on a back of a member by the leader itself is, and sometimes works in a very positive in terms of belongingness and appreciation and recognition among the group, which sometimes incline the people or incline the employees to be in that particular group where the leaders are very, they recognize the work. High cohesiveness leads to better coordination, communication, and goal achievements. Higher morale and motivation and loyalty is leads to high cohesiveness. It higher more group cohesiveness there, we can see the lower absenteeism and turnover. We generally see people talk about we would like to go to office. When they are saying we would like to go to office, we love our office, it means the group at the office or at the workplace is very cohesive, and the people they are working around, they are highly motivated with a high morale and loyal. The goal, the communication and the coordination is on a very high note. Group leadership. Group leadership is exclusively based on the leaders or the supervisors of a group. It is very crucial to direct the people within the group. Leadership style depends on group tasks and task nature. Informal leaders also impact productivity. Apart from formal leaders, where they need to direct a specific task or specific responsibility, there are certain tasks where they need to come forward and talk about in a very open way to their group members. That creates the environment which is very positive and group cohesiveness, and this is one of the quality of a leaders also, which make a bind, which make the members work together in a very impactful manner. When we are talking about groups at the workplace, it is also termed as teams. Sometimes the groups and teams are interrelated terms and work as synonyms. The nature of the team is advising, where the team provides advice to management by identifying and analyzing issues. The example of it is a strategy team. The strategic team recommends cost-cutting measures. Second nature of the or the characteristic of the team is innovating. The teams engage in brainstorming sessions and discussions when they sit together to work on the problem solving strategies and to find out the new ideas and strategies. For example, a research team developing innovative business solutions. Promoting. Teams take part in promotional activities, whether it is product, service, or strategy. For example, a marketing team launching a new ad campaign. Here, the innovative ideas of a team can also be incurred. How to do the how to do the promotional ad campaigns, and what can be the new ideas where we can get into to get the best business. The other one is developing. Teams contribute to the development of products, strategies, and organizational improvements. The human resource team is quite responsible in developing an employee engagement strategies, while overall development of the organization and team members. Organizing is all about teams plan and coordinating events, programs, and the entire process flows within an organization or the workplace. For example, an event management team organizing the corporate seminars or conferences in a very smooth manner, because if they have a very good coordination, the developing and the innovative ideas, they are very good in organizing. Producing. Teams are involved in production related activities, ensuring efficiency and quality. For example, we can see in a manufacturing team assembling product in a production line within the stipulated time and with zero wastage. The other nature of a team is inspecting. Inspecting refers to conduct the inspections, evaluations, and analysis of issues or processes. For example, the quality assurance team inspecting product defects. When it is all about inspecting, it is also they are also look after the maintenance about the not only the technical aspects but also to ensure the positive work environment with a high morale and motivated employees within an organization. uh, Sometimes there in big organization there is a corporate culture team is built to maintain specifically for the employee engagement activities to create the good organization culture. Linking. Teams bridge an environment and they bridge the communication gap between the different groups in an organization. It is seen that in a project there are different functional or the departments, groups or the teams which interact on a cross-functional project task. Here the teams plays a very important role in cross-departmental liaison between the teams to improve the interdepartmental collaboration when the organization is working on big projects. Significance of team addressing the complexity of modern workplaces. It's seen that due to rapid technological advances and rapid globalization, teams plays a very important role in addressing the modern workplace and to simplify the complexity at the modern workplace. Managing challenges arising from globalization, the diversification is seen at at the workplaces where the teams manage and they are seen to fill the gap and to begin create a collaborative workplace among the members of an organization from the diverse backgrounds. Leveraging workforce diversity, adapting in technological advances, enhancing organizational success and performance, increase productivity. Here, the team plays a very important role for the overall organization success. The organizational objectives and the team objective has to be aligned to increase the productivity of an organization. Better decision making. This is not only the responsibility of the leaders of an organization, but it is also the other team members are equitably responsible for their own task. When the team is cohesive and when they are properly organized and maintained, so better decisions comes up with the on the team working. Facilitating innovations and creativity. When the different people from different background and the diverse team come together, the innovative ideas and creativity comes after brainstorming sessions and the bonding between them. Strengthening communication and collaboration. Teams not only strengthen the communication, on the specific task or the projects assigned to them, but it also helps in working collaboratively. But here, the leaders has to be very specific on the job responsibilities and the task defined to them. Mutual trust is very important, and mutual and the responsibility given to them has to be predefined and has to be fairly, equitably, and relatively to the employees or the team members. It improve the employee engagement. When we are talking about the employee engagement refers not only the formal employee engagement, but also when the employees are coming forward and in case of any discrepancies or any problems or any issues that they may come up with the new ideas or new strategies to work further to find out the best possible solutions. There are different types of teams. Teams are work teams, cross functional teams, top management teams, process improvement teams, project teams, self managed teams, virtual teams, and quality circles. Work teams are permanent teams. They collaborate regularly. The members typically belong to the same department and they work together for the specific task. For example, a marketing team responsible for the advertising and promotion. So within the department, all the people are from the marketing background and they work together for specific, for example, a specific campaign. Whereas the cross-functional team is comprised of the members from different functional backgrounds or the departments or the divisions, often at the same hierarchy level, and they work towards the common goal. For example, a university faculty team from different disciplines collaborate on a research project. Top management teams refers to a very small and very specific group of senior executives or managers. Each member is a leader in their own specialized area. They are the subject experts. They requires both individual decision making and collaboration together. For example, a board member of directors in a company are the top management teams. Process improvement teams refers to the team members where they interact regularly to identify about the inefficiencies and how they can improve or implement the improvements within the processes. They focus on analyzing and enhancing existing work processes. For example, it's seen in a manufacturing team working on to find out the flaws in the production processes to improve the production, to find out the best solution in the production defects. Project team are very specific teams which are similar to cross-functional team, but they are working on a very specific project. It is sometimes the time-bound teams also, where the members from different departments, even from when we are talking about the globalization, they are from the different countries also. They are working on some specific projects. For example, a new product launch of an multinational company where the marketing, sales, or the production teams participate at different phases, at different levels, from different backgrounds. Self-management teams are operate with a high degree of autonomy and decision-making power. These kind of teams are more seen in where the people can take their individual decisions. uh, Maybe sometimes it's seen in small and medium-sized companies where the high. It is also seen the people who have individual decision-making responsibility and authority is given to them. They have a high morale and involvement in the in the projects. Because they are, but sometimes they are not expert in that area. They may lack in the proper guidance. For example, a software development team working with agile methodologies. Virtual team is very well nowadays at the modern workplaces. Most of the organizations are working on a digital, exclusively on digital mode. They have not only hybrid, but they have a fully remote, the fully remote job profiles also, where the team members are geographically dispersed. They are from the different locations, but they collaborate on the digital mode on any specific platform. That not only saves times and cost, but can lead to weak communication issues, because most of the time they don't meet. Maybe sometimes if for any event or any seminar they come to the office, but it depends on the organization to organization. A remote IT support team provides services worldwide. This is one of the example of the virtual team. Other examples can be seen today in learning and development areas, where most of the trainings are done on virtual mode. And then after because that's a very blended form of teams formed together for some specific task. The most important is quality circle, because every company is working for the quality. The small groups working on quality improvements and operational efficiency. Quality circle is it is formed by a very specific and experts who look after the quality of the production processes and the entire organization processes. where the leadership plays a very important role by ensuring that they can give the best of their solutions based on their own experience and expertise. A quality control team in a factory, for example, aim to reduce defects, or maybe how to reduce the accidents, or also sometimes how to reduce the absenteeism or a turnover within an organization. There are certain aspects of effective team building. First, very important is the groups, the team size. The ideal team say size is 4 to 12 members. If it is more than 12, it is set to be as large team. There are certain disadvantages where the coordination issues are there, because if more the people is more, the behavioral conflicts may arise, social loafing arise. We can find the team, the groups within the team, or maybe they come together from the similar interest areas, and there are sometimes the communication difficulties. Whereas the smaller team, which is less than four, it may lack of opinions and viewpoints, because there are less people. The optimal team size, it depends on exclusively on the task, the objective of the work, and the purpose, or the organization's overall. The team composition can be homogeneous or heterogeneous. Homogeneous, the team members are from the similar backgrounds and skills. That may lead to smoother operations and better coordination. Whereas the heterogeneous teams, it's same, the members have diverse background like skill. When they're coming from the diverse background, they may foster the innovations, and it requires some very effective managerial skills to avoid conflicts. The most important is goal clarity. When we are talking about team, the other word comes to in our mind is goal. The goal has to be smart, that is very specific. The goals has to be measurable. The goals has to be achievable. They has to be reasonable, and is to be time bound. The goals has to be smart goals, because if the goals are not clear, it may hinder the performance, and it may create a confusion and later on the conflict among the teams. Team cohesiveness is about the bonding for better productivity and few conflicts. Selecting members who are willing and able to work collaboratively enhances team unity. Management of diversity. Diversity brings different perspectives and ideas, improving decision making. It also must be managed well to prevent misunderstandings and conflicts among the team members. Mutual interest is very important when the diversity or managing the diversity within the team is required. Building trust is essential for team collaboration, coordination, and overall team proficiency. Each member should have faith in others. That builds a good team, that builds a good culture within the organization. Developing trust leads to better cooperation and problem solving. Leaderships and the leaders or the supervisors play a very important role in motivating and supporting team members. They should have a clear understanding between the teams and the organizational goals given to them. They should be very well versed in providing the feedback to the team members as well as to the management about the team. The leadership can be rotated to allow different members to develop leadership skill within the team. Training and skill development is equally important for the effective team building. It depends on the task and the goals of a team. Training not only include the technical skills but also the behavioral skills as and when required to for the effectiveness of the team building. For example, where the team is required to communicate, to the different members in a very formal manner, it has to be trained in the business communication skills. That has to be very good. because it depends on the reporting, making reports, proposals, or any specific content on that specific project or the task. Conflict management, whenever we are talking about team, we are talking about the members or the people, and when there are people there, the disagreements are there, that leads to the conflicts. And that should be resolved. There should be proper resolution strategies if the team has to be run effectively for the specific task or an objective. The team leader and the management should address conflicts early to maintain the healthy work environment within the team, within the organization. There are certain challenges which affect the teamwork. First is changes in team composition. Frequent changes in team members disrupt established relationships. It is seen that when the people work together, they establish the relationship, they know about the attitude and the work style of other members, so they sometimes adopt. But frequent changes may impact the, because then again it needs some time to adjust with the new people. Sometimes they adjust, sometimes they may not. That leads to the low productivity and affects. It takes time. It takes much more time. When there is frequent changes. Interpersonal relationship issues occur because of the lack of trust and cooperation among the team members. It may negatively impact on the teamwork if it is not, if there are no, if the good interpersonal relationships are not there. In case of communication barrier, the lack of communication may lead to misunderstandings and further leads to the conflicts and may also lead to the poor decision making. The leadership structure depends on the task. Leadership depends on the projects given to them. If it is not effective, it is not taken care of, it may create confusion and misunderstanding among the leaders and the team members. The poor leadership leads to lack of coordination and motivation among the team members. Role ambiguity is all about the lack of clarity. The role and the goal of each role has to be very clear. Unless it is not clear, it may create the conflicts over the responsibilities or the task given to them. Lack of trust is all about the team members where they hesitate to share the ideas and their creativity, or it's very difficult for them to collaborate on on specific tasks. It affects overall teamwork performance and finally the morale of the employees. Low motivation and morale again refers to the team energy. It lowers the team energy. If the energy is low, the people cannot work. The lack of appreciation is there. The feedback on the lower feedback can lower enthusiasm also. Disagreements on team goals and activities. It is all about differing opinions on team objectives and can cause conflicts. Misalignment of goals can delay or derail the entire team progress. Domination by certain team members. Some members may dominate discussions and decision making. So it is responsibility of the leaders to take care of this. It may lead to lack of inclusivity and reduce creativity among the other team members. There are certain strategies to overcome teamwork challenges. There should be optimal team size. It should be properly discussed. When we are making a team, the forming of the team is very important. That this is very important initial stage. Skill-based team selection and training has to be there. The goals has to be clear and SMART goals should be defined and designated to each team members. Shared leadership should be there. Behavioral training and positive work culture has to be maintained within the team. Conscious-based decisions making should be there. Supportive organizational environment has to be there to overcome the overall teamwork challenges. Stress management and time management training, because it depends on the task. Sometimes the team members are not able to tackle the stress, or maybe to time management. So regular monitoring and regular training has to be there on these two behavioral issues. Continuous learning and development is very much required for better productivity, and as if rapid technological changes, it has to be clear, and the trained workers or the trained employees, of course it is said and it is researched that they come up with better ideas and the better productivity. When we are talking about the team, when we are talking about the group, the members, the people are there, it may be conflicts or arises, and if the conflicts arises, there are certain strategies which we will be discussing in further slides. What is conflict? Conflict is all about the disagreement between individuals or groups due to any differences. The main differences or the common differences among on the disagreement among the individuals can be attitudes, beliefs, values, or needs. Conflicts have both positive and negative aspects. Sometimes the conflicts plays a very important role within an organization. Sometimes it leads to a very very scenario where people cannot even cope up and come out of that. Positive aspects of conflicts helps to resolve the problem, because if there are conflicts, it means they are disagreed on some specific decisions. So the team members comes up with their ideas. They comes up with their bit for the betterment of the organization. When it is negative aspects, it hampers the productivity. It may lead to continued disputes and inappropriate behavior among the team members. The common causes of workplace conflicts can be poor communication, limited resources, interpersonal relationship between the team members, or even the leadership problems. General causes of conflicts leads to competition among the team members within an organization because of the differences in values or attitudes or expectations and goals of a people around them. For example, disagreement between spouses over holiday plans can also leads to the general conflict. When we talk about the workplace conflict, it may be different opinions on the project budget, or conflict ideas and within the colleagues on implementing a new system. Different views on conflicts is there are three main views: traditional views, which comes in 1930s and 40s, and then is behavioral, 1940s to 70s. Then if we talk about the today's scenario, that is interactionist view. The traditional views says that conflicts are harmful and it should be avoided, and it includes when the conflict word comes in a mind, the other word comes a turbulence or violence, or maybe it is said to be or known to be as a sign of management failure. So, for example, F.W. Taylor believed proper application of scientific management would eliminate conflicts. He gave certain strategies to come out of the conflict on certain wage incentive systems or so on. Behavioral issues were more inclined towards in 1940s to 1970s, where it is seen, it is said that conflict is natural. The disagreements are natural when the people are working together. They have different priorities, they have different attitudes. All this arises because of the resources or beliefs or values, or maybe it happens for the because of the misunderstandings between them. But whenever there are conflicts, it may be beneficial for any. It comes up with a new solution. It comes up with a new strategy to solve that particular conflict or a problem. Managers should resolve the conflict by restoring trust and communication. But today, in a current thinking, conflict is not only inevitable but also necessary for progress, because if the people are working in depth for some specific project, definitely they come across with different areas where it is need to be improvement, or the other people who are not working in depth or maybe with more involvement, there may be disagreement to change in the process. So in today modern organization, they said that controlled conflicts prevent stagnation, and it may hampers the creativity. Management should regulate conflict, and it encourages a strategic use of conflicts. Whenever there is conflict, the strategies comes in, and the more better problem solutions in the for the better processes comes in, and that has to be implemented in a proactive behavior or a manner. So there are certain, comparison on all these views based on perception of conflict, how the conflict is seen in these three views. Traditional is harmful, then behavioralist says it is natural, and now the interactionist view is it is necessary and can be beneficial. The main causes are the comparison can be done on main causes because it's seen in traditional manner that it is a management failure, whereas as on today we are saying it is because of the competition. Role of management is very important on the traditional view. It ensure the smooth functioning, where and behaviorists always talk about the trust and communication among to solve any conflict. Today we are saying about the managing of conflict not only based on the trust or any specific person, but it also comes up with a new change that refers to the change management. And effect of organization is in traditionally it is seen to be as very harmful, but as on today it is more seen to be as an aspect of innovative and responsiveness. Different type of conflicts are conflict within individual, conflict between individuals, conflict between individual and a group, conflict between groups within an organization, conflicts between individual and organization, conflict between group and organization, and conflict between organizations. Conflict within an individual, when a person or an individual wants, for example, an employee want have a training sponsorship. Now the conflict is whether to go for that training or not go for that training program. This is a conflict to decide on its own. When it is conflict between individual, it is all about the attitude, beliefs, about the processes, sometimes about the task and responsibilities, about the roles as well. Conflict between individual and a group is all about when the group is not cohesiveness, when sometimes in a team or a group, an individual team member feels as to be as a separate or a different person, where the involvement of that individual is not within the group or team. Conflict between groups within an organization, it's seen that different groups are formed within an organization. Sometimes it is on the functional, sometimes it is not even on the functional, it is on the behavioral issues. Conflict between individual and organization can be in, for example, it is seen on for example, of sexual harassment within an organization, where an individual faces that particular issue, and it comes up and report the issue to an organization, and if the organization is not taking care of that, it may create a conflict. Conflict between group and organization is when one particular group have some innovative ideas and an organization or the management is not addressing that particular idea, the conflict may arise. Conflict between organization is more towards the competitive organizations from the same trade. For example, the similar background or the similar product line organizations have the conflicts in terms of maybe the promotions or hiring, or the technical transfers of knowledge, or maybe the technical issues. The sources of conflict is seen to be as competition for limited resources, where the different departments competing for budget allocations. There is conflict on goals, where the marketing teams want more stock and the finance wants to reduce the storage cost. It is also on the task dependence where it is pooled, sequential, or reciprocal. Pooled is poor performance in one team affects others. Sequential is one's group's work delays another, and reciprocal is teams rely on each other for input. Differences in values and perception where the workers demand profit, sharing while management prioritize reinvestments, organizational ambiguousness, introduction to change also is a source of conflict because it is seen that some employees are they don't want it to get it changed. Nature of the communication, if there is lack of transparency between the project or the team members, it creates a conflict. Aggressive nature of the people, where it is more seen in the autocratic leadership style, it can also be a source of conflict among the organization within the team members. Results of intergroup conflict is because of the group cohesiveness increases. When there is too much of involvement, the group becomes task oriented, leadership becomes more directive, organization structures become more rigid, or when there is group unity is stressed. The conflict can be functional or dysfunctional. The conflicts that results in increased organizational performance and help an organization to attain its goal is called functional, whereas the conflicts that hinder the organizational goals and prevent it from achieving that specific goal is dysfunctional. There is a relationship between conflicts and performance. When we say there is less number of people, or when there is interperformance is low, the dysfunctional conflicts are more. Or when we talk about the performance is on a very high, the functional levels and the conflicts are also, that there is a scope of conflict stimulation and the scope of conflict resolution is high. And when it is, the performance, the interperformance within the team members is very high, there also the dysfunctional level of conflict is again high. So level of conflict is optimal when the overall performance is high, where the scope of conflict is also stimulates and the scope of conflict resolution is also there. So that is all about organizational conflict and performance. There are certain consequences of the conflicts which can be positive or negative. That is seen, a positive can be seen as a new ideas that stimulates creativity and motivates change. It promotes the organizational vitality. It serves as safety valve. Whenever any problem is bound to be there or maybe indicating any issues in there, it works as a safety valve. Whereas the negative consequences create a negative climate, whenever any conflict arises. It breaks down group cohesion, increase hostility and aggression. It wastes the resources. The resources can be not only the resources as a raw material, the resources are the human resources also. The people when involved in the conflict, they are not very productive. So it threatens the psychological well-being. It diverts the energy from work and increase the hostility and aggression among the employees. The conflict process is consists of 4 stages. First is potential antagonism. Second is cognition and personalization. Third stage is conflictive, where the conflict management behavior is seen. And fourth is aftermath. The first stage is all when the key is when there are very limited resources. It is the primary conditions. It is the initial condition when there are limited resources or the goals are different. These conditions do not always lead to conflict, but they work as a triggers. They are the triggers for the conflict. The stage 2 is all about cognition and personalization, whether it is the conflicts are perceived, or maybe it is felt that we are having the conflict further because of that specific issue, or any process emerges out of that. It is emotionally involved parties, which may leads to mistrust or frustration among the employees. Stage 3 is all about conflictive and conflict management behavior, where it comes up with the strikes or disputes. It is the action based conflict, which ranges from passive resistance to open aggressions. And negotiations strategies comes up, and problem solving strategies and mechanism comes in. Mediators comes in for all these things. Aftermath is when it is on a settling stage, when there are improved relationships on ongoing tensions, structural and policy changes have been made, or maybe in any case, any leads to resolution, or maybe further future planning for the or maybe it is impacts on the future relationships and policies. The conflict management, there is a Thomas framework, which is said the behavior can be assertive or unassertive. When the behaviors are assertive, the team members or the group people are in an avoiding situation. They avoid the situation. They don't want to get into. But when it is assertive, when all the members are on assertive mode, they comes to the competition, they comes to the conflict, or maybe they comes with a compromise, because when they come together on a conflict, they settle down with a compromising solution, or maybe they get into collaborative manner as well. Whereas in assertive behaviors, avoiding intentions are avoiding that particular issue, or maybe just going along with that, or maybe trying to accommodate that particular situation. Otherwise, the Parikh's framework is where it is all about avoidance and approach strategies, where the avoidance is all about registration, appeasement, withdrawal, and diffusion, whereas the approach framework says it is all about confrontation, compromise, arbitration, and then finally the negotiation. The conflict management also have a contingency framework, which is in-group integration and proposes three main strategies based on collaboration, bargaining, and power play. Conflict prevention can be done on basis of communicate to manipulate, to change the communication channel, alter the organization structure, the organization size, redefine the job, reform the units, alter personal behavior factors. Conflict strategies can be ignoring the conflict, imposing a situation is conflict avoidance strategy. When it is appealing to super coordinate goals is conflict diffusion strategies. Conflict containment is using representatives and structuring or bargaining. Conflict confrontation strategies is all about problem solving, organizational redesign, and preventing the conflict in positive approach. When it is conflict, so negotiation is bound to happen. The process of reaching at a mutual agreement is called negotiation. When it is between two or more parties, it's spread throughout every organization, and it is obvious labor bargaining with management. Negotiation process starts with investigation and preparation. Then it is after preparation, it is bargaining, and finally it is a both phases agreement. Negotiation approaches is about the goal, motivation, focus, interest, information sharing, duration of relationship, whereas it is bifurcated into distributive bargaining or bargaining integrative, where the motivation is win-win in bargaining because the two parties come together and they look for the problem solving on a mutual trust. on a common interest with long-term relationship, whereas the distributive bargaining relates with a short-term relationship, and sometimes it is a win-lose bargaining also. Individual differences in negotiation refers it relates with the personal traits where if the poor the negotiators are they are not very good in negotiations, intelligence of people who sit on the negotiations, even sometimes on the moods and emotions of the people who are sitting across the table for the negotiations. Distributive bargaining when they are in anger or anxiety, because that is a win-lose situation. It comes for on a win-lose situation. Um, the differences in negotiation on integrative negotiation, also cultural influence. It is seen in negotiation, masculine cultures are more dominating. Gender differences also plays a very important role in individual differences in negotiation. Men and women, that is, the men seems to be more confident. It is and women are expected to be very nice while negotiations. Situational factors can be based on location, remote negotiations, physical settings, time passage and deadlines, audience characteristics, audience influence, and public. Third party negotiations involves the mediators, arbitrators, and conciliators. There are different levels of the Gandhian approach to conflict resolution is, it is more towards the non-violence, ethical struggle, and transformation. It's not just only the resolution dispute, but also received to the personal and societal growth. There are three levels, which starts from goals and conflict, and later on it leads to the struggle and process, and finally to the conflict resolution. It should be on the mutual growth and transformation. So overall, we learned about the importance of group, definitions of group on formal and informal, stages of group development, that is forming, storming, norming, performing in a journey, meaning of team, and it's more about its intergroup relationships, types of teams. We learn about effective team building, challenges in teamwork, views on conflicts, types of conflicts that in intra-individual, interpersonal, or maybe intergroup or inter-organizational, conflict process stages, the causes of state conflicts, because sometimes on the limited resources, diverging goals, task independence, value differences, or conflict management strategies, and finally the negotiation factors. We also learn about the influencing aspects, location, physical settings, audience characteristics, and finally the Gandhian approach. Hope you find it useful. Thank you so much. Namaste.